But let's talk about set. Set is a collection of items that are used to store a single variable. Set is one of the 4 built-in data types in Python, like list, tuple. We have set. So we also have dictionary. These are used to store collection of data. So set are unordered, they are unchangeable, and they are unindexed. They are unordered in the sense that if you create a set of names, for example, and you use a curly bracket to create your set. For list, we use square bracket. For tuple, we use the regular bracket. But for set, we use the curly bracket. So let's say we want to create a name. Let's say Henry. Let's say Ray, and let's say Peace. So we'll print names. So we have output Ray. So set are unordered and unchangeable and index. Let's talk about the unordered. Set are unordered in the sense that the items in the set would not stay in a permanent position when you check them. So when we printed out names, we see we have Peace, we have Henry, and we have Ray. But initially we have Henry, Ray, and Peace. If we print again, you see we have Henry, Peace, Ray, different from what we had initially. This shows that set is unordered. It is without order. There's no ordering. There is no index. It is on index as well because you cannot access the item of a set by doing something like this, like getting a particular position or this one or this one, like 1, 0, 1, 2. You can't do that with set because set is not subscriptable. It is not indexable. You can't use and you can't subscript the index of the items for in the set to get the particular item in that position. That's one of the properties of set, and it is unchangeable because you can't make changes to the contact. You can assign a particular item to a particular position. Let's say we want to change this way, we want to change the way to Paul. You can't do that with set because set does not allow items to be changed. However, you can add a new item, you can remove an item, you can copy and use some of the set method. So here are some set methods. Set method are methods that we can use within sets. They are functions that we can use within set that helps us to perform quite some actions in set, like add an item to the set, remove an item, and do what have you. So to access an item, we can use for loop to access the item. So if we say for item, for example, in the names, which is the set, we can have access to each of the item in the set for every instance of the iteration. So if we run this, you see we have the names printed out. We can create a variable and say hello, and then we can say you see we should have hello Peace, hello Ray, hello Henry. So this is because we now have access to each of the item in the set for every instance of the iteration within the for loop. So that is how you access the item in the set. So set are great ways to store items, a collection of items within your code that you do not care about the order of the item and you do not care about the index or the position of the item. So for example, you want to create a list of random emojis, set comes in handy because you do not want to care where each particular emoji stays in the list. You just want a set of emojis, right? That's an example of where you can use set. So let's talk about set methods. Set methods, like I said, they are built-in functions that we can use within set. Let's use the add method. To use the add method, you just use add. So let's say we want to add an item to this set names. We use names and then we use add and we add the item. So let's say we want to add Paul. For print names now, we should have a new guy in the list. So we have Ray, Peace, Henry, and Paul. If we can add more items to the set, Let's say we want to say Mary, and then you see we have Paul, Henry, Mary, and Ray. So you see, that's how you add an item to a set. To remove an item from a set, you call the remove method. So we say remove, and we specify that item that we want to remove. So let's say we want to remove Henry. If you run this, you see we no longer have Henry in our set. If we can remove as many items as we want, say we want to remove Ray, run our code, you see we no longer have Ray and Henry in our set. So that is how you remove an item from a set. And we also have the pop method. So this pop method comes in handy when you want to randomly remove an item from a set. So there is no specific item that will be removed when you call the pop function, but it will remove an item. So when you run this, you see we no longer have one of them. We now have two. If we do it twice, two items will be removed and we will have one. If we run the code again, you see it changes. So this is now Ray, it's now peace, it's now peace. Maybe because we have put it twice. So let's say it's now Ray and peace, it's now peace and Ray, it's now peace and Henry, now Henry and peace, Henry and peace, and so on. So this is how pop works. It randomly removes an item from the set and returns the remaining content. There is a clear method as well. This clear method helps us to clear the entire content of the set. So if we use clear and we print the the set, we'll have an empty set, right? So that's how clear works. When we are done with the set, we want to delete all the items in the set, we use clear. For copy, copy returns a copy of the set, basically. So if you create a new set, like say new names, and then we say copy, it returns this set, which is what we are trying to do here, into this, and then we can print new names. For print this new name, you see we already have this guy still showing up because it's the same set. So that's what copy does. So for update, let's say you have two sets, set 1 and set 2. Say we have set X, which is a list of programming languages, and then we have set Y, which is a list of more programming languages. So we have C here, C++, and all that. So if you want to update the content, the set X with the content of set Y using the update method, you call X and then you use the update method and then you pass in the new set you want to update that set with. And then if you print X, you see we have a whole new set with a combination of both sets. So we have Java, Python, JS, C, PHP, and C++, which is what we have here. We have Java here, we have Python here, we have JS, we have C, we have PHP, and we have C++. But one of the beautiful things about set is that it allows us to check about the update method. It allows us to check if there are multiple, if a particular item that exists in one set is in the other set. When you're using the update method, it does not combine the two sets. So for example, if we also have JS here, we won't have two JS in our set. We'll have a single JS because it checks for what's common and combines both of them together. So if we have JS, if we also have Python here, you will see we no longer would have just one Python and one JS because that's how the update method works. So that's a bit about set. We shall talk more about it in the other sections.